Ladies and gentlemen, live from the West Coast, it's time for Ring Talk Live Worldwide.
Hey, yo.
For over 30 years and still, your inside look into boxing and mixed martial arts.
You know what? As long as she fights at 135 pounds, I don't care if she's injecting horse semen into her eyeballs.
Heard live around the world and brought to you by the World Boxing Organization. And now, live from the Ring Talk Studios in San Francisco, here's the host of the longest-running fight show in history, Pedro Fernandez.
Damas y caballeros, bienvenidos. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Sports Byline Studios in the City by the Bay, San Francisco, California. Yes, the man was correct in the introduction. My name is Pedro Fernandez, 35 years now, the undisputed heavyweight champion of the radio airways. That's right, celebrating 35 years of radio next week. We'll do it next week. Next week was, that's hard to believe, but 35 years, it's been 35 years. I remember starting out doing a show with Charles Day, and like it was a 15-minute show, and then it was like an 8-minute clip here and there, and then we went to an hour, and I said, well, that was too much, and we're like 2 hours, and at one point in time, we were doing like 6 hours straight. Remember, 4 hours of ring talk and 4 hours and 2 hours of general sports talk on the old Sports Final Network. It was way back in the day. Anyway, the bottom line is we're here on Sports Byline, 35 years now, loving it, folks. Loving life here on the top, of course, the Sports Byline world. Open phone lines. You can join us tonight. We're talking boxing and MMA for the next hour, 2 hours. 1-800-878-PLAY. That's 1-800-878-7529. The guilt-free, no-commitment text line. That's right. You don't have to come on the air. You can still blast me or compliment me or talk about a fight or whatever you want to do. 415-275-1613. The text line, once again, 415-275-1613. Johnny Sigel joined me after the break, and guess what? Sean Porter will as well. Of course, Sean Porter beating Danny Garcia last night and doing it, I thought, decisively. Other people thought not so decisively. In fact, one person I talked to this morning, the retired HBO Godfather, thought Danny Garcia won. Whoa! We'll talk about that and more after the break. You are tuned to Ring Talk, live on the mighty Sports Byline Broadcast Network.
Want to fly somewhere? Looking for cheap flights or cheap tickets? Then call. That's right. Call the low-cost airline travel hotline now for prices so low we can't publish them anywhere. Low-cost airlines has all kinds of cheap travel deals. Fly domestically and save up to 75%. You can even fly internationally and save even more. Yes, fly anywhere in the world and save a lot of money on your plane tickets. We'll even save you money with cheap travel deals on hotels, rental cars, even complete travel packages. So don't book your tickets until you call us first for the absolute cheapest prices on U.S. and international airline tickets and hotels. Call right now for prices so low they can't be published. Travel experts are here 24/7 to help. 800-754-4531. 800-754-4531. 800-754-4531. That's 800-754-4531.
Hi, Rick Tittle here. You may know me as the sports talk host. I can talk about all sports: football, basketball, baseball, hockey, soccer, golf, tennis, auto racing, boxing, Olympics, rollerball. But this time I'm here to talk about pain. If you have pain in your knee or your back like I do, then you should know about the Health Alert Hotline. If Medicare is your primary insurance, then you could qualify for a back or knee brace at little or no charge. I have an old injury from my football playing days, and anything that can help take that pain away and make it more manageable, that has my attention. I love the free delivery, and they take care of the paperwork for you. So if you have Medicare and need help for back, ankle, knee, or shoulder pain, please call the Health Alert Hotline at 800-428-1570. That's 800-428-1570. Agents are standing by 24/7, so go ahead and call now. 800-428-1570.
Hey, travelers, do you want to save money on your next flight? Then pick up the phone and call. That's right.
call, because the best prices are not online. They're with SmartFares. See, SmartFares has special deals with the airlines. When they have unsold seats, they use SmartFares to fill them. So you get airline tickets at ridiculously low prices. Our prices are too low to publish online. With the extra money you'll save, you can book another trip or treat yourself to dinner or shopping. So stop searching all of those travel sites to find the lowest price on your next flight. Let one of our SmartFares expert travel agents find ridiculously low prices for you. Call SmartFares today and get the best price on your next flight. Guaranteed. Also, save up to 50% off business and first class tickets.
855-325-1780. 855-325-1780. That's 855-325-1780.
I got to get back to it. There were some things missing tonight, and they won't be missing in the next one.
Why did you watch the 87 tape of that great fight between Leonard and Hagler?
And he tried it. I knew it was gonna come into play tonight. And he tried to out hustle me mostly at the end of the rounds. And his hustle game was up tonight. He did a tremendous job.
Sure, bro. The power punches and the ability to keep that onslaught all night long. You said you got a little offended, I think, when I asked you, would you want to make this wild? And then after the second or third round, you decided, I better make this wild.
It wasn't necessarily about making it wild. My dad wanted me to stay consistent with the body work, stay consistent with the pressure. And I did my best to box from the outside and also on the inside. I think that was ultimately what got me the victory tonight.
Everybody always looks forward, so let's look forward. Errol Spence, possibly Mikey Garcia. Errol Spence is behind me here somewhere.
Hey, I know they all here tonight. Hello, sir. I know they all here tonight.
Hey, and I'm good. The same way that you called out Danny Garcia, I'm calling you out. You know what I'm saying? Let's get it on. You got the WC belt. I got the IBF belt. We can unify. We good friends. I love your daddy. But let's get it on.
Hey, guess what, y'all? This is going to be the easiest fight to make in boxing right here.
What is your assessment of what you saw here of Sean Porter?
I mean, Sean Porter did what he always do. Sean Porter, he came forward, he was aggressive, and he came to fight like he always do. And his dad got him ready with Barry Hunter. But like I said,
do I look worried?
No, but you're much calmer now than when you came into this ring chasing Danny Garcia.
Yeah, he did a great job. Congratulations, man. See you soon, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Good deal.
All right, let's bring it.
Do it again.
There you go. We have a lot to look forward there. Danny, tremendous fight this evening by you. The accuracy, 46% on the power punches. Your thoughts on this decision? Close decision.
First of all, I want to thank God. I want to thank my fans for coming out. I want to thank my team, my dad, Angel Garcia, my brother, everybody in my family, Al Heyman, Showtime. I thought I did enough to win. It was a close fight. I thought I did enough to win. The judges didn't give it to me. What can I say?
Let's go through a few things here. Were you hurt by any of the headbutts, and did it cause any problems for you?
Bust my head on the side right here.
Right, we can see that here.
And
your nose as well?
Yeah, a couple headbutts on my nose.
Did that affect the outcome?
No, not really. I was prepared for it, but it is what it is. What can I say?
You had to withstand this onslaught, but you knew what was coming. You know that he wants to make this into the fight that it became, and while you were much more accurate, he threw 270 plus more punches. How difficult is that when a guy is just relentless?
He was throwing a lot, but it was just a lot on the inside. I had my defense tight, so it wasn't effective. I thought I landed cleaner more shots, and I thought I won this fight.
What would you like to do and see have happen next?
I don't know. I got to sit back, relax, and see what's next to me.
Danny, appreciate your time. Terrific fight.
Thank you. I want to thank all my fans around the world for supporting me.
Philadelphia-born Puerto Rican Danny Garcia is the former junior welterweight champion, now 34-2, 20 KOs. Of course, his conquer, man, what can you say about Sean Porter? He brought it, 29-2-1 now, 17 KOs. Let's bring our ringside expert in. I'm talking about Johnny Sig, of course, coming to us from Sin City, Las Vegas, Nevada. And, John, an impressive performance by Porter.
Absolutely, man. He neutralized the hook of Danny Garcia by throwing great hooks to the body. Nice body work by Porter last night, a solid jab. Listened to his father in between rounds. His father gave him great sound advice. And, again, the work ethic of Porter is second to none, Pete.
Okay, but here is the key to the fight. And Hector Martinez, a two-time Golden Glove champion, Roberto Duran's manager, of course, a guy that brought Duran to the title again with, of course, by Iran Barkley. Anyway, he broke this down perfectly for me. He said that Danny only threw one jab at a time. He would throw a jab and a right hand and a jab, one jab at a time, and you can time the one jab. I mean, remember we kept talking about Porter barely missing on the counter there, but you can time the one jab. But if he doubled up on the jab, he would have discombobulated Mr. Porter. He wouldn't have been able to counter as easy as he did.
Absolutely. It makes the fighter reset. And I tell you what, again, what I loved about Porter's performance last night was a beautiful hybrid of his sound and fury style. Great counter-punching on Porter's behalf, good boxing look, and he also used a tornado football playing style that we talk about that he started to show after about round 3. Yeah, man, he came after Danny, and once he puts that kind of pressure on you, it offsets rhythm, and that's why the left hook wasn't there for Garcia. The body attack and the jab for Porter was definitely part of the reason of that. But I tell you what, for Danny Garcia, it's a good thing that left hook, he wasn't throwing it, because I tell you what, Porter came close, like you were saying, with some overhand rights a couple times, man. If one of those landed, different story.
Yeah, and the reason why Danny didn't throw that left hook as much as he would like, it was because of that body work. I mean, he was keeping that elbow tucked. Absolutely. He was keeping that elbow tucked, man. And you know what? And another thing Hector said, I'll go back to Hector because I go to him, the fight guru, and he says to me that you could have beat Porter going up the middle, but you couldn't beat him going around the side. Any merit to that, you think?
Very difficult look. No, I agree
Uppercuts?
100%. And the thing is, and you know what? Porter landed a nice uppercut on Garcia on the inside, but Garcia stood right in front of him, and it was funny to see Garcia trying to walk down Porter during the fight, but still with a look of confusion on his face. It seemed like he did not know what to do with Porter, and I think that they didn't prepare for that body attack and that sound jab that Porter was showing. We know Porter has a crazy, aggressive style, but that's the cleanest and the best look he could possibly have with that crazy, furious style.
Larry Merchant called it ugly. Would you call it an ugly fight?
No. I think there was a lot of clinching, and I think Danny Garcia was the one that initiated the clinching. I've seen Porter fight before in the past in some very ugly, like prison-style type mauling fights.
Danny holds a lot, man.
Oh my goodness!
Jesus, I mean, here's what's up. Keith Rucker was holding me, and this was my first Golden Glove Championship fight in 1982. He was 6'2", and I had dropped him early in the fight and this and that, but he was a big, tall dude. They called him the Hitman. He could bang. Anyway, he was holding me, and in the third round, I just slung my head at him. I mean, it was an obvious headbutt. It was a foul. I admit it. You know what I'm saying? I was so frustrated, Johnny. I was so frustrated. You just can't imagine when you're trying to impose your will on some guy and he's holding on to you. I mean, we're talking about like love holding.
Well, that's a cagey veteran move, what you're doing there. One guy, technically you're not supposed to hold like that. And if the referee's not going to break up the clinch, you got to take matters in your own hands. You got to figure out a way yourself to break up that clinch. Now, I think if that fight was in favor of Danny Garcia, we would have heard more about the referee's lack of awareness to break up the clinch, because Danny held a lot. And I'm surprised Sean and his people didn't complain, but, they're classy gentlemen. They'll find their own way to win, But at the end of the day, there was just excessive holding on Danny Garcia's behalf.
What about the body? What about the body language in the Garcia corner down the stretch? Wasn't that pretty telling?
Oh, after about the fourth or fifth round, absolutely. Especially, what's funny, in between rounds, I start to see Garcia put those hands up on the ropes. And that's usually a telltale sign for me. When you're sitting down, you got to stretch your arms out like that, and you're sitting like you're hanging out, in your lounge chair on a Sunday. That's not a good look.
No, but anyway, but Ali was the only one that could do that. But if you do that, it takes the blood doesn't circulate to your arms. Right? I'm serious. That's like the worst thing you can do.
100%. The next worst thing you could do in a corner is get like a leg massage like Morales did that one time. That's about it.
Hey, speaking of leg massages, Emmanuel Stewart, here's a Kronk gym inside. Emmanuel Stewart goes out to work James Schuler versus somebody. I can't remember who it was. Anyway, he's out there working the Schuler fight, and Tommy's going to fight Marvin Hagler. So this nice chick comes into the dressing room, and she tells Tommy, I'll give you a massage, baby. So she massages down his legs for like a half hour.
No.
Yeah, and he comes back, and his legs are like, jelly. And he didn't have the strongest legs in the world to begin with, the Hitman.
After a fight, not before.
You're tuned to the Mighty Sports Byline Broadcast Network. My co-star Johnny Sigel stay with me, of course. After the break, Earl Spence will get raw. What does that mean? Earl Spence, of course, calling out everybody at 147 pounds, now especially Sean Porter. So Spence and Porter sounds like the easiest fight in the world to make because they're both promoted by the same guy, Al Heyman. And by the way, Al Heyman, is he starting to make a move? Is this Al Heyman's big move, the Fox dates? In other words, are these getting money now? Is he making money? We'll talk about that with Johnny Sig after the break. Don't forget, this is the Mighty Sports Byline Broadcast Network, Tower of Power, baby. And this is all about me because I know I am...
He certainly knows how to shake things up.
Down on my knees. Oh, heart in hand.
In times of economic uncertainty and chaos, your money means nothing. You may not even be able to get it from your bank or ATM. And the money you do have in the stock market will go down and down. What you can bank on is gold and silver. Gold and silver have been a reliable and trusted form of currency for thousands of years. Gold and silver have never been worth zero, and typically gold holds its value during economic turmoil. Call the Gold Hotline now and learn how to protect your money and your assets with gold and silver. And learn how to set up a new IRA or roll over your current one into a gold-backed IRA. Protect your money from the next market crash with gold and silver. Call now for your free gold guide.
800-535-7789. 800-535-7789. 800-535-7789. That's 800-535-7789.
Hi, I'm Dr. Robert Clapper, Chief of Orthopedic Surgery at Cedars-Sinai Medical Group in Los Angeles, California. Dedicated to your health, your life, and your sports. As a weekend warrior, you know about sports injuries and pain. Exercise is an important element in keeping your body's core in good shape to minimize sports injuries. But when you are in pain, there is one product that I recommend to my patients, and that is Blue Goo Gel. Blue Goo consists of a proprietary formula developed specifically for the treatment of inflammation and general muscle aches and strains. I recommend Blue Goo for my patients coping with hip and knee pain before surgery, especially bursitis and tendinitis. Give Blue Goo a try. Call 1-888-330-0123 and you'll receive a 1-week supply of Blue Goo absolutely free. The makers of Blue Goo are even paying the shipping. The number again is 1-888-330-0123. If you want more information on Blue Goo, visit online at www.dothegoo.com.
Now available at select Big 5 stores near you.
Do you have Medicare and do you use a CPAP machine? This is a national healthcare alert regarding your CPAP supplies. Using a clean CPAP mask and clean supplies is important to staying healthy. The best way to make sure your CPAP equipment is clean is to get new supplies. If you have Medicare, we have great news. Medicare will pay for you to have new clean supplies every 90 days. We'll even do all the paperwork for you to make sure that there's little to no out-of-pocket cost to you. And you don't even have to leave your home. We provide free in-home delivery. So if you're a CPAP user and you have Medicare, staying healthy with new CPAP equipment is easy. Just make this free phone call right now to get started.
Call the CPAP hotline now. 800-430-4234. 800-430-4234. That's 800-430-4234. Copays and deductibles apply. Supplies are replaced in accordance with Medicare guidelines.
Now, more of Ring Talk with Pedro Fernandez.
We don't back down from nobody. Hold on. We can take it in the street if you want to.
35 years, celebrating 35 years of radio next week. That's right, Ring Talk Live Worldwide on the air, 35 years come September 15th. God, it seems like yesterday, but it is evolved. Of course, as I said, we started out playing games with Charles J. down there in Florida. Then we went to Vegas, and we came here to San Francisco. Then we went syndicated with Sports Final, and all went around the world. Because actually, one time we were on a Johnny Sig, believe it or not, we were on a redneck right-wing station out of Washington, D.C. I can't remember the name of it. It was back in I guess, the early 1990s, like 90 to 95. And I'm telling you, it was like, we're talking about going into the most right-wing stations in the entire country. And like, whoa! It was a political network. And I couldn't understand why they were picking up the show, but they picked it up. And I was grateful for that. But it brought me a diverse audience, no doubt about that. Now, let's back to the subject at hand. We will, Earl Spence, of course, the reigning world welterweight champion in the minds of many, undefeated, good-looking lad, no doubt about that, 2012 Olympic gold medalist. Well, Bob Arum says that that's the one guy he wanted to sign that he didn't sign. Bottom line is, Spence is getting raw. The fact that, of course, he was victorious, and the fact his kid looked so good. But, the man in the background, the man that everybody's talking about, is Earl Spence. Because I said undefeated out of around Dallas, Texas. Jerry Jones' kid. And if you got Jerry Jones behind you, he's a billionaire. I guess you're going to go well. Bottom line is, Earl Spence is probably the best welterweight to come along in a long time. Is he? Well, let's hear from Earl Spence.
I just want to say something. A lot of people want to talk about when I say, we on different sides of the streets and things like that. It's true. Me and Terrence Crawford on different sides of the streets. He just signed with ESPN. I don't fight for ESPN. I fight for Showtime or Fox. You know what I'm saying? So he's on this side of the street. Al Heyman, you know what I'm saying? And then like Bo Mack said, I guarantee EJ living paycheck to paycheck. I'm definitely not living paycheck to paycheck. I guarantee you, if we check our tax reports at the end of the year, I guarantee I'll make more than him. He got 3 coaches. We don't know who the head coach is. So, at the end of the day, I'm a way better fighter than Terrence Crawford. Who has he fought? The only name fight you fight is York's Game Boy, the guy that he fought. I fought Lamar Peterson, Chris Algieri, Kell Brook. And how many fights he got? 30-some fights? You know what I'm saying? Like I said, he's a great fighter, things like that, but you can't put him to me. Like the guy he just fought for the undisputed welterweight, light welterweight champion of the world, Regis Prograis stopped him later than he did. You know what I'm saying? So you got to add it all into conclusion to who you say the top welterweight. You know what I'm saying? A lot of stuff is smoke and mirrors. That's what Bob Arum do. Bob Arum do a lot of smoke and mirrors. It's a lot of smoke and mirrors with him, and that's how it is with Terrence Crawford. If you name one of y'all, name me a guy he fought. That was top guy. Name me a top guy he fought that's better than Chris Algieri. Nah, that's better than Chris Algieri. Name me one guy. Felix Diaz. So you think I think Chris Algieri beat Felix Diaz. He beat the Russian kid. Adongo just got knocked out by Regis Prograis later than he did Terrence Crawford. So name somebody else. Victor Poster? Victor Poster, who he beat? Matisse? Matisse, when he showed, when he get hit back, he folded. When Pacquiao hit him back, he folded. Easy. On the speed at 140, but it's smoke and mirrors. Jeff Horn. I thought Manny Pacquiao beat him. I thought Manny Pacquiao beat him again. Jeff Horn, who had Jeff Horn beat?
What that?
Who?
Oh, he kind of good today.
Who had Jeff Horn beat? Name somebody Jeff Horn beat. Who?
What? Yeah.
Like I said, Bob Arum, he's a great promoter. Smoke and mirrors, like I said. All the time, smoke and mirrors. He hasn't beat anybody, bro. You can't name somebody. Anybody you name, I can argue with that statement every time.
What do you think about the Benavidez fight that you just signed?
It's a good fight. I got a tape of me beating Benavidez in sparring. Punishing him. Yeah. Punish him in sparring. Benavidez is a good fighter, though.
Okay. Regardless of the street, wouldn't you love to fight Terrence Crawford? Wouldn't that be a spectacular fight? Just fantasy. Wouldn't it be great?
It's a big money fight because a lot of people, drinking the Kool-Aid.
Look, there's a lot of streets in boxing right now. There's a lot of streets. But that being said, if the fight gets big enough somewhere down the road, and we're talking about a lot of commas in the numbers, then somewhere down the road they'll find a way to make the fight.
But at the end of the day, I feel like me and Keith Thurman is the fight to make. Like a lot of people bring up Terrence Crawford, Keith Thurman been inactive. But when Keith Thurman come back and when he has a great fight and he, he shows that, what he's been showing in the fights with Danny Garcia and Sean Porter, everybody's going to be talking about Earl Spence versus Keith Thurman. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these fans and stuff, a lot of these fans and these reporters, they live in the moment. You know what I'm saying? They talking about, Earl Spence, Terrence Crawford, this and that. But they were just talking about Earl Spence and Keith Thurman. So once he come back and he has a great fight, I'm like, oh, what about Errol Spence and Keith Thurman? So
there are a lot of great fights that could be made easier right now because they're within the sphere that we're operating in. And Keith Thurman, if he didn't injure his hand again, would have been back in the ring already this fall. Unfortunately, he's had a real rough turn of luck, and he injured his hand again. But got to remember, Keith Thurman beat both of those guys that were in the ring tonight.
Definitely. And like I said, Terrence Crawford on the wrong side of the street. It's me. It's Danny Garcia. We got Sean Porter. We got Keith Thurman. We got Ugas. We got a lot of fighters over here. Who he has? If he was an A-level fighter, Bob Ray would have been gave him the fight with Manny Pacquiao, but he gave it to Jeff Horn. Why is that?
Errol Spence, of course, the current WBC welterweight champion, 147 pounds, said to be the king of 147. That is remained to be seen, but he's the 2012 Olympic gold medalist, and of course, undefeated as a professional. Now, I would have to say that Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford, I think that what Spence said makes a lot of sense, Johnny Sig.
They're on different sides of the street, man, and here's what's up. I was talking about this yesterday. The winner of last night's fight, Porter or Garcia, we ended up being Porter, would end up probably facing Errol Spence because 147 is a PBC-heavy division. I mean, the majority of the top players there.
PBC is?
PBC is a 147 heavy.
No, I'll say it again. PBC is. Define PBC for the listener. They're out there. They might think that's a radio network.
Premier Boxing Champions and Al Heyman Company has a huge stable of 147-pound fighters, Pete.
They're looking to dominate at 147, no doubt about it. Was he calling out David Benavidez, 168-pound champion? Was he calling him out?
A little bit. I think Errol Spence right now is feeling very confident.
Wait. So that's who he was talking about, though? The guy, the kid that you and I are high on out of California, something like that?
Yeah, I heard Benavidez' name dropped. The only other Benavidez I know is Jose Benavidez at 147, who is facing Terrence Crawford on ESPN in October, I believe.
Well, maybe he was talking about...
it might have been that Benavidez.
Yeah, he may have been talking about that. I don't think he'd be jumping up 21 pounds. Anyway, for the most part, didn't Keith Thurman just take a year off to smoke a bunch of weed? That's what they were implying on the foreign. No, they were implying that on the international broadcast last night on the Fight Nation broadcast. He goes, what did the guy say? It's nice when you can take a year off and sort of self-medicate yourself, and go and relax and this and that. I mean, self-medicate. I knew what he was trying to say there.
Yeah, until yesterday, I would have felt that way, and I saw an interview with Thurman on Brendan Schwab's Below the Belt show on Showtime. And Thurman seemed very genuine in saying, hey, look, man, I had a couple of events that were very unfortunate. I got injured, I took some time off. I got married. I've been boxing since I'm 7 years old. I took 500 and change days off, but I'm looking to come back. I relinquished my belt. They didn't strip me. I relinquished it so guys could fight for it because I felt bad. It seemed genuine, so I'm willing to hit the reset button on my opinion on Keith Thurman, and hopefully he'll come back and start fighting again. Because the sport could use him. I mean, he's a great soundbite and a good fighter.
Okay, good enough. Let's finish up this segment talking about Charles Martin. Doesn't have a whole lot of ability, but he's got some stones, huh? I mean, he took a lot of stuff from that fat guy, Adam Konaki. And Konaki, what can I say? He looked like George Foreman, and he was like roped. He got roped to dope. He threw so many punches, he was done.
I'll tell you what's up, brother. Martin redeemed himself last night from that, stinker against Joshua where he got KO'd.
But that fight stunk last night, too.
What happened, Pete?
That fight smelled last night, too. That wasn't no artistic success. I mean, those were just two lumbering...
No, there's no pugilistic brilliance there. It was just a good TV action fight, both in slugfest, heavyweight slugfest. But he survived, I got to give him credit. He was taking a lot of criticism, for the Joshua Stinkfest, where he just went in there and just got flattened.
Well, he lost 6-4 in rounds, so I guess it was a close fight. One round off a draw. Johnny Sig returns in 1 hour and 40 minutes past the hour, and hour number 2. Johnny Sig, go take a good break. We'll talk soon.
Thanks, buddy.
You are tuned to the Mighty Sports Byline Broadcast Network, Ring Talk Live worldwide. Next up, I bring you Muhammad Ali Unplugged with David Frost. Why David Frost? Because David Frost asks different questions. Pretty good interview. Of course, the greatest of all time when it comes to orators, as far as the world of sports, as far as the world at large. Muhammad Ali in his prime right after the break. You're tuned to the Mighty Sports Byline Broadcast Network, going out with what is hip, Tower of Power, baby.
If you or a loved one is suffering from a physical or emotional condition that has left you unable to work, then listen carefully. Take this number down. 800-593-7491. That's 800-593-7491. When you call, you'll speak with a Social Security disability expert and get a free evaluation to see if you may qualify for disability insurance benefits from the U.S. government. That's right, a monthly cash payment paid directly to you from the Social Security Administration. Whether you're applying for the first time or you've already been denied disability benefits, call now. The disability attorneys at Pinnacle Disability can help you build your case, file an appeal, and represent you at no upfront cost to you. Don't wait another minute to see if you may qualify for your Social Security disability benefits. Call Pinnacle Disability Group at 800-593-7491 for your free case evaluation. That's 800-593-7491. 800-593-7491. Call now.
Being a new parent means every high and low you can imagine. But Evos can make it all easier with a baby monitor you can trust. Go to myevos.com, that's MYEVOZ.com, to see how Evos can be the eyes and ears of your nursery. Evos works with your smartphone to provide a live audio and HD video connection to your baby anytime and anywhere. On a date, at work, away on business, even serving your country overseas, Evos helps you never miss a moment. Whether your baby is with a sitter, your partner, a grandparent, or a friend, you'll be right there too. And with unique features like smart alerts that know the difference between a barking dog and your baby crying, extensive sleep tracking data, and state-of-the-art security features for your peace of mind, Evos is the smart baby monitor for connected parents. And enter the code SPORTS at checkout for $20 off. That's myevos.com. MYEVOZ.com.
Attention business owners. Are you struggling while waiting for your customers to pay on their net 30, 60, or 90-day invoices? Can't get a business loan? Have no equity? Bad credit? Or maybe no credit at all? Then you need to call AmeriFactors right now. AmeriFactors will give you cash for your invoices and there's nothing to pay back. We simply buy your account receivables, and if those clients don't pay on the invoices, we take the loss. We give you funds based on your account receivables, not your credit. And 98% of all applicants are approved. It's that simple. With AmeriFactors, there's no more waiting for your customers to pay. We give you the funds up front, then we wait for your customers to pay us. Fund your business today. Call AmeriFactors right now.
800-847-1183. 800-847-1183. 800-847-1183. That's 800-847-1183.
Now, more of Ring Talk with Pedro Fernandez.
He is the greatest fighter of all times next to me.
Before Muhammad's greatest fight, I was fortunate enough to be at his training camp in Deer Lake for an interview. After we'd climbed into the ring, what followed was vintage Ali.
No problem. No problem. This will be the biggest upset since Sonny Liston. And I think it is befitting that I go out of boxing just like I came in, defeating a big, bad monster that nobody could destroy. A hard punch. I'm the underdog. If he hits me, I'm in trouble, like the Sonny Liston fight. But I came back and I shook the world and I got Liston. Now it's 10 years since Sonny Liston. I'm meeting another big, bad, strong monster knockout artist that beats everybody. Sonny Liston knocked out Patterson twice, and I was supposed to fall, but he didn't knock me out because he could hit hard, but he couldn't find nothing to hit. George Foreman knocked out Ken Norton, knocked out Joe Frazier. True, I didn't knock him out, but I'm so fast, I'm so hard hit, I'm so scientific. I'm a total different man from Frazier and Norton. Listen, David, when I meet this man, if you think the world was surprised when Nixon resigned, wait till I whip Foreman's behind. I'm telling you, David, I'm down to 215 pounds. Right now, I said it when 215. I'm fighting weight already. I usually train 6 weeks for a fight. I've trained 4 months for a fight. I'm chopping trees. I've done something special. I've wrestled with an alligator. I've tussled with
I believe you totally. I believe you completely.
I have tussled with a whale. I done handcuffed lightning, throw thunder in jail. Now, you know I'm bad. Only last week, I murdered a rock, injured a stone, hospitalized a brick. I'm so mean, I make medicine sick. Man's in trouble. Listen, George Foreman, people are afraid of George Foreman. They talk about how hard he hits. The world has been deceived. You listen to me now. I've never told you wrong. The man don't hit hard. He knocked Joe Frazier down 6 times. He got up 6 times. Joe King Roman, his Tokyo, Japan fight, the Puerto Rican champion, knocked him down 3 times. He jumped up 3 times. He knocked Ken Norton down 4 times. He jumped up 4 times. When have you ever saw the man say 7, 8, 9, 10, count his man out? When I hit Sonny Liston in the second fight, he stayed out for the count of 10. Zora Foley stayed out for the count of 10. Cleveland Williams stayed out for the count of 10. What few I have knocked out stayed down. Sugar Ray Robinson knocked him out for the count of 30. Joe Louis, Marciana, Jack Dempsey, Jack Johnson, Archie Moore, as a child, they knock him out cold. So this man has never knocked nobody out cold. He's a bully. He's slow. He has no skill, no footwork. He's awkward. And I have been given him a name. I named Floyd Patterson the Rabbit. I named Sonny Liston the Bear. And he shall be known as officially as the Mummy. The Mummy.
And why the Mummy?
Because he fights. When he's fighting, if you ever watch him in the ring, he drags like that after his opponent. And how's a mummy gonna catch me? When you're fighting a mummy, you just keep a step ahead of the mummy. See? Just move on the mummy. No, mummy, I'm over here. No, mummy, I'm over here. Yeah, no, you're moving too fast. The mummy don't move that fast. Let me tell you something, David. I shall be the mummy's curse that night. Have you heard of the mummy's curse?
Have I heard of the mummy's curse?
Yes,
I saw the movie.
It's going to be some fight. The greatest fight, the greatest event of all times. When I get to Kinshasa, Zaire, in Africa, 2 billion people will watch the fight, and that's 10 times the population of America. That's like a country 10 times bigger than America. 2 billion people, I found out, will fill, to give you an idea how many people it is, 2 billion people will fill an arena of 100,000 seats every night with new faces for 170 years.
That's a great
100,000 people every night, new faces for 170 years. And I draw that crowd, not George Foreman. It's my beautiful looks. It's my skill. It's my humbleness.
Your beauty and your humbleness. I think first of all it's your humbleness, and then it's your beauty, isn't it? I mean, because when you look in the mirror in the morning, it must be just a wonderful experience.
You know, I've been in the ring, David, now for probably 20 years, and I'm as pretty as you, and you are now, so.
And slightly fitter. Which round is it going to end?
I'm not predicting the round. Could, but it puts me on the spot, because you worry about trying to predict a round, and you might get him early, and you call yourself carrying him until that round, or you might slip up and get hurt. It's too much pressure. I predict, David, that I'm going to outdance him. I'm going to stick him. I'm going to be 3 times as fast. I'm going to punch him at will. I might not knock him out cold, but I'll TKO him. I predict a TKO. I predict that the fight will be stopped on cuts or bruises or been humiliated. Humiliation will stop this fight. The referee will just step in and stop, because I'll just be popping him, popping him, sticking him, moving him. I'm constantly popping him at will until the man will just have to stop it.
You mean it's going to be the first world title fight ever stopped on the grounds of humiliation?
No, they've stopped a few of mine for that, and they've stopped other ones. But I'm serious. This man have 2 chances, slim and none. The man is in trouble.
The man
He's got problems.
He's got problems. Have you done anything special, apart from wrestling with an alligator? In addition to that, have you done anything special this time?
No,
Diets?
Not just boxers. Any athlete have to refrain from anything that's bad for his health.
Right, and so therefore...
Especially when you're in a strenuous sport. Football, basketball, baseball, wrestling, anything that takes stamina is hard. And anybody watching this event, or you yourself, you get up and jump around, a man or woman, scuffle with somebody, wrestle with them for about 3 minutes, and watch how tired you get. Serious wrestling and competition is tiresome. And for 15 rounds before 150,000 people, knowing 2 billion people are watching, takes a lot out of you. It makes you, and then you got the world's greatest fighter, one of the world's best, taking punches at your face, your body in little hard gloves on, and everything at stake, your future, your life, your family's investments, everything's at stake. This worries you. And the pressure, the excitement, the drama, even people who come to fights are nervous. And many of the fans here and yourself, I mean, the night you go to the fight, although you're not involved, you'll be nervous, just waiting for the bell to ring. Finally, these two men are going to clash. Who's going to win? Muhammad Ali or George Foreman? Both of them are great. One's got to fall, right? Somebody's got to leave. And you're excited. You're not as dumb as you look, fella.
Dish TV is better than cable TV. Why? Because you can save 45% on packages compared to your high-priced cable bill. Wow. Take those giant scissors out and cut the cable and save with Dish TV. Plus, you get a free DVR upgrade to record your favorite shows and free installation. And with Dish Anywhere, you can watch TV for free on your mobile device. Act fast. You can save hundreds of dollars. Does your cable company do that for you? Get all the best TV programming at your fingertips at a fraction of the price of cable TV. So say adios, arrivederci, goodbye to the high cable bill and save up to 45% on Dish TV packages today. These are limited time offers and can change at any time. Call fast. 800-405-2561. 800-405-2561. 800-405-2561. That's 800-405-2561.
Ladies and gentlemen, live from the West Coast, it's time for Ring Talk Live Worldwide.
Fascinating.
For over 30 years, and still, your inside look into boxing and mixed martial arts.
What the hell's going on out here?
Heard live around the world and brought to you by the World Boxing Organization.
Yeah.
And now, live from the Ring Talk studios in San Francisco, here's the host of the longest-running fight show in history.
Down goes Frazier! Down goes Frazier! And Foreman is as poised as can be!
Pedro Fernandez.
Damas y caballeros, bienvenidos. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Ring Talk Live Worldwide. Hour number 2, of course, on the Sunday show, 11 a.m. Pacific time. We start this off for 2 hours live on Sports Byline, iHeartRadio, Sirius XM Satellite Radio, about 1,000 other internet platforms. But the bottom line is, if I told you all about that, I wouldn't talk about the world of mixed martial arts, of course, and boxing, which is what we do each and every week. Bottom line is hour number 2. We'll talk UFC 228 in the books now. In the rearview mirror, of course, Tyrone Woodley, still the world welterweight champion. We'll talk about that in depth. We'll hear from Tyrone a little bit later in the show. But the bottom line is, this guy, he's impressive, but now they're calling him the greatest welterweight champion of all time. It's pretty weak when your sport, like when they call a guy the greatest heavyweight of all time because he's made 3 defenses or 2 defenses of the title. Come on, 2 or 3 defenses? That makes you a great, an all-time great, the greatest of the great? Come on. Anyway, the bottom line is, at the end of the day, MMA, of course, I think is starting to burn out in the minds of many. Not in my mind, but in the minds of many. People I talk to, they say to me, I'm sort of tired of it now. Why are you tired of it? I don't know. I don't know too many of the guys. Well, that's what it is. They're trying to infuse new names in the world of mixed martial arts, especially UFC. We'll talk about that in depth on this show. You are tuned to the mighty Sports Byline Broadcast Network, celebrating 35 years of Ring Talk Live Worldwide next Saturday, right here on the Sports Byline Broadcast Network. Of course, we air Saturdays and Sundays at 11 a.m. Pacific. I'm right here on Sports Byline. Anyway, the bottom line is, it's been 35 wonderful years, almost 1 week away. We'll talk about that next week. After the break, we'll hear from Tyrone Woodley and, of course, the world welterweight champion. Bottom line is, at the end of the day is, you are tuned to Ring Talk Live Worldwide.
Hi, I'm Dr. Robert Clapper, Chief of Orthopedic Surgery at Cedars-Sinai Medical Group in Los Angeles, California. dedicated to your health, your life, and your sports. As a weekend warrior, you know about sports injuries and pain. Exercise is an important element in keeping your body's core in good shape to minimize sports injuries. But when you are in pain, there is one product that I recommend to my patients, and that is Blue Goo Gel. Blue Goo consists of a proprietary formula developed specifically for the treatment of inflammation and general muscle aches and strains. I recommend Blue Goo for my patients coping with hip and knee pain before surgery, especially bursitis and tendinitis. Give Blue Goo a try. Call 1-888-330-0123 and you'll receive a 1-week supply of Blue Goo absolutely free. The makers of Blue Goo are even paying the shipping. The number again is 1-888-330-0123. If you want more information on Blue Goo, visit online at www.dothegoo.com.
Now available at select Big 5 stores near you.
Hi, Rick Tittle here. You may know me as the sports talk host that can talk about all sports: football, basketball, baseball, hockey, soccer, golf, tennis, auto racing, boxing, Olympics, rollerball. But this time I'm here to talk about pain. If you have pain in your knee or your back like I do, then you should know about the Health Alert Hotline. If Medicare is your primary insurance, then you could qualify for a back or knee brace at little or no charge. I have an old injury from my football playing days, and anything that can help take that pain away and make it more manageable, that has my attention. I love the free delivery, and they take care of the paperwork for you. So if you have Medicare and need help for back, ankle, knee, or shoulder pain, please call the Health Alert Hotline at 800-428-1570. That's 800-428-1570. Agents are standing by 24/7, so go ahead and call now. 800-428-1570.
If you or a loved one is suffering from a physical or emotional condition that has left you unable to work, then listen carefully. Take this number down. 800-593-7491. That's 800-593-7491. When you call, you'll speak with a Social Security disability expert and get a free evaluation to see if you may qualify for disability insurance benefits from the U.S. government. That's right, a monthly cash payment paid directly to you from the Social Security Administration. Whether you're applying for the first time or you've already been denied disability benefits, call now. The disability attorneys at Pinnacle Disability can help you build your case, file an appeal, and represent you at no upfront cost to you. Don't wait another minute to see if you may qualify for your Social Security disability benefits. Call Pinnacle Disability Group at 800-593-7491 for your free case evaluation. That's 800-593-7491. 800-593-7491. Call now.
Now, back to Pedro Fernandez with the MMA Hour.
You're tuned in to the Mighty Sports Byline broadcast that we're talking mixed martial arts was last night's decision. Tyrone Woodley and Darren Till. Darren Till, they called him the Gorilla coming in. Good fighter, man. I mean, he had a decent record. I think it was like 17-0. That's pretty good. 17-0 with a draw. But, you know, level of competition, Woodley being the best at what he is, 170 pounds, of course. The other guy at 170, I think that Woodley would really like to fight is GSP. I mean, that's really the fight that all of us would really want to spend some money on. Tyrone Woodley, any fighting anybody else, I just don't know, unless he wants to step up a weight class maybe and take on a light heavyweight. I wouldn't suggest that to him, but if you wanted to do that, more power to him, or maybe a middleweight. Who knows? Anyway, Woodley's talked a lot of smack, but he backed it up, of course, last night. A submission win in the second round, 419, DR's choke. I mean, good-looking move, no doubt about that, man. I mean, you have to give him props. And the co-feature, a women's strawweight bout, former champion Carolina, call her Carolina K on this show. She was dropped. I mean, knocked out in the first round, a punch. Of course, Jessica Andrade of Brazil. Jessica, I thought, was overrated in coming in like a 3.5, 4-1 favorite on this one. I thought Carolina K had a shot here, but Carolina K had no shot. Carolina K from Poland, one of those flash in the pans. I mean, just what it is. I mean, she'll always be a top 10 type of fighter at that weight class in strawweight, but not top 2 or 3. I think Carolina K has seen better days. But Jessica Andrade, more props to her. Now, Zabib's got one of these names that is horrible to pronounce. Magomed Sharapov. So we just call him Mago. Zabit Mago defeated Brandon Davis, another submission, a knee bar. Pretty good looking. And knee bars are sort of cool. I remember the time that Frank Shamrock grabbed Don Fry over there in Japan in a pride fight. And he locked him in that ankle lock and that knee bar, and he broke Don Frye's leg in that 4 spots. There were 4 stress fractures, and Don Frye wouldn't give up. Don Frye is the ultimate monster in mixed martial arts. I mean, you talk about heart, you talk about intestinal fortitude, you talk about stones, a.k.a. balls the size of an elephant. Don Frye, baby, no doubt about it. Anyway, Brandon Davis submitted a knee bar, round number 2, 3:46 in. Jimmy Rivera back on the winning track now, beat John Dodson. Not much of a surprise there, 30-27 and 29-28 on these scorecards. And Abdul Razak Al-Hassan defeated Nico Price. And the rest of the main card, that was the pay-per-view card. It was a KO, a punch in the very first round, 43 seconds in. Now, some of the fights on the undercard, of course, Fox, I think that FX has had this on TV. Tatiana Suarez was the winner over Carla Esparza. I thought Esparza had a shot there, but no way, man. She got, drilled in the third round. Punches and elbows, 4:33. And Aljamain Sterling defeated Cody Stamann, a submission, another knee bar. 2 knee bars on the same card. You don't see too many knee bars at all, but there were 2 on the same card, both leading the wins. A KO kick for Geoff Neal, defeating Frank Camacho. Of course, that's on FX. And the last fight on FX was Darren Stewart defeating Charles Byrd. Of course, that was a TKO into the second round, 2:17 in. And the early card was on Fight Pass, and if you're not a freak, I guess I got to tell you this anyway. Diego Sanchez, the UFC veteran, was the winner over Craig White. Jim Miller, the Cowboy, came back with a rear naked choke over Alex White. The Cowboy's been out a long time. I mean, out of the winner's circle a long time. He just, I thought he was old and slow and one-dimensional and this and that, but he picked himself up a win last night. You need good undercard fighters, good guys who can fill out the middle of the card, because whether you want to believe it or not, combat sports, be it boxing or MMA, is built on the backs of losers. I'm sorry, I hate to break you. Because, let's be honest. In order for Khabib to be 24-0, 25-0, 25 guys have had to lose to him. Okay, that's what I'm trying to tell you. So it's built on the sport. It's built on losers. People laugh when I say that, but you really think about it. I mean, Oscar De La Hoya as a boxer, Mike Tyson as a boxer. I mean, all those wins that they piled up, they had to have losers on the other side. So you've got to have guys that can hang in the middle of the card and, of course, be your go-to guys. Call them gatekeepers. Call them what you want. Call them the guys that will test your other guys, be it male or female in the world of mixed martial arts. And Cowboy Jim Miller is just that now at 155 pounds. The women's bantamweight on the bout on the card, Irene Aldana defeated Lucy Pudlova, split decision 29-28. Could have won either way. Jared Brooks defeated Roberto Suarez and Sanchez in the very first fight on Fight Pass. Split decision 29-28. That's what the judges thought. Jared Brooks, I don't know. People say he's a pretty good-looking fighter at 125. As for the future of UFC, wow. I mean, it's all about this one fight card. I think the whole promotion for the year depends on Khabib and Conor McGregor. It just does. And as the fight gets closer, the McGregor people are starting to lay down their money. They're starting to believe in the old Irish drunk. Sorry, guys, but that's what he is, okay? The old Irish drunk. They're starting to believe in this guy because, he's cleaned himself up a little bit, and he's sobered himself up, and, and he's not breaking windows on buses and causing mayhem and things like that. So they, he's got a shot. Yeah, these are the same folks that thought he had a shot against Floyd Mayweather, okay? Do you know how many people I had to not take their money, refuse to have bets with them when they wanted Conor McGregor over Floyd? And I'm not a Floyd guy, and they know that. So they came to me wanting to bet money. They figure, hey, he don't like Floyd. He'll bet against Floyd. I'm not going to take advantage of you. As I said to you before, if you had a house, let me break it down to you as simple as I can. If you had a house and you had to paint it, and half of it was painted by a painter, a professional painter, and the other half was painted by a plumber, a professional plumber, the painter is going to prevail as far as artistic quality. Bottom line is, the plumber doesn't know what he's talking about. He's not in that realm. It's not his world. Just like mixed martial arts is not combat. Mixed martial arts is not combat with just the hands. You use the feet, the elbows, the head to an extent. Okay, so in boxing, you've got 2 hands, your right and your left. At the end of the day, it's a different sport. It's a different world. And right now, Khabib, I think he can do everything. I think he can box. I think he can punch. I think he can get guys on the ground. If he gets you on the ground, he's just so strong. He just destroys you. And we've talked about this many, many times in the past because, and I keep repeating myself, and you say to yourself, is Pedro losing? Is he senile? Is there dementia setting in? No. But I've never had heard a fighter tell a guy, listen, man, please quit. I've broken you. I have broken you. Please, it's time to quit. I have broken you. Don't make me hurt you. Oh, my God. I mean, that's like, I never been drilled like that because we box, but never been beaten down like that. Oh, my God. I couldn't imagine that. Be having your will imposed and busted. I mean, your spirit's been busted. This guy kicking your butt. It's a telltale ass kicking is on the line. You know that. If you continue to be brave, you're going to get punished beyond belief, and the residual effects of those kind of beatings, especially for somebody with heavy hands like Khabib, God knows. That's just what I'm trying to say. God knows. Nobody really knows. So you take those shots with 4-ounce gloves, man, you're really, you're running a severe risk of residual effects. But I think that the 4-ounce gloves are better than the 8 and 10-ounce gloves. And why do I say that? Because we have decisive punches. In other words, if you hit a guy cleanly with a 4-ounce punch, and really clean, a good boxer anyway, he'll go, okay? But if you hit a guy with an 8 or 10-ounce glove, he won't go. It's sort of padded. It's sort of like a pillow. And it's not good because of that, there's repetitive concussion syndrome going on in boxing. So in other words, a guy gets dropped by a shot, right? Gets dropped, but doesn't get dropped too hard because the punch wasn't all that severe because of the 10-ounce glove, okay? Which I don't understand. I really don't. Guess it. The sport of boxing has 8-ounce gloves up to 135 pounds, and after 135 pounds, they're 10-ounce gloves. So a guy fighting at 147 pounds has to wear a 10-ounce gloves, as does a guy fighting at 265 pounds. Does that make sense? Boxing doesn't make sense, folks. It just doesn't sometimes. Anyway, that's why boxing and MMA going back and forth. Some people love boxing, some people love MMA, some people love both. I bring you both week in and week out live on Ring Talk Live Worldwide, coming to you on the Sports Byline Broadcast Network. Of course, 11 a.m. Pacific, I'm right here on the mighty Sports Byline Broadcast Network. UFC 229, we'll talk about that in depth in the next segment. We'll also hear from the World Welterweight Champion, because he's glad to be back. I'm talking about Tyron Woodley. He's taking a lot of heat, man. I mean, Dana White's talked smack about him. Other people have talked smack about him. But the end of the day is, I guess he's champion, so he's the one talking smack. After break, Woodley talking smack right here on Sports Byline and the MMA Hour.
You're listening to the MMA Hour.
Hi, I'm Dr. Robert Clapper, Chief of Orthopedic Surgery at Cedars-Sinai Medical Group in Los Angeles, California. Dedicated to your health, your life, and your sports. As a weekend warrior, you know about sports injuries and pain. Exercise is an important element in keeping your body's core in good shape to minimize sports injuries. But when you are in pain, there is one product that I recommend to my patients, and that is Blue Goo Gel. Blue Goo consists of a proprietary formula developed specifically for the treatment of inflammation and general muscle aches and strains. I recommend Blue Goo for my patients coping with hip and knee pain before surgery, especially bursitis and tendinitis. Give Blue Goo a try. Call 1-888-330-0123 and you'll receive a 1-week supply of Blue Goo absolutely free. The makers of Blue Goo are even paying the shipping. The number again is 1-888-330-0123. If you want more information on Blue Goo, visit online at www.dothegoo.com.
Now available at select Big 5 stores near you.
Hi, Rick Tittle here. You may know me as the Sports Talk host that can talk about all sports: football, basketball, baseball, hockey, soccer, golf, tennis, auto racing, boxing, Olympics, rollerball. But this time I'm here to talk about pain. If you have pain in your knee or your back like I do, then you should know about the Health Alert Hotline. If Medicare is your primary insurance, then you could qualify for a back or knee brace at little or no charge. I have an old injury from my football playing days, and anything that can help take that pain away and make it more manageable, that has my attention. I love the free delivery, and they take care of the paperwork for you. So if you have Medicare and need help for back, ankle, knee, or shoulder pain, please call the Health Alert Hotline at 800-428-1570. That's 800-428-1570. Agents are standing by 24/7, so go ahead and call now. 800-428-1570.
If you or a loved one is suffering from a physical or emotional condition that has left you unable to work, then listen carefully. Take this number down. 800-593-7491. That's 800-593-7491. When you call, you'll speak with a Social Security disability expert and get a free evaluation to see if you may qualify for disability insurance benefits from the U.S. government. That's right, a monthly cash payment paid directly to you from the Social Security Administration. Whether you're applying for the first time or you've already been denied disability benefits, call now. The disability attorneys at Pinnacle Disability can help you build your case, file an appeal, and represent you at no upfront cost to you. Don't wait another minute to see if you may qualify for your Social Security disability benefits. Call Pinnacle Disability Group at 800-593-7491 for your free case evaluation. That's 800-593-7491. 800-593-7491. Call now.
Now, more of the MMA Hour with Pedro Fernandez.
We're backstage in Dallas, Texas, and Tyron Woodley is still your UFC welterweight world champion. Yes, that's right. People are clapping for him back here. You earned your black belt, which we'll get into in a minute, but when you walked over here, we were just discussing off camera, you were like nonchalant, like, oh yeah, just another day at the office.
You know, I'm the champion of the world. I'm supposed to win. You know, it's something miraculous if he pulls out the victory against the greatest welterweight of all time. My coach, thank you, my man. My coach Dean, started this new thing with me in the last 2 years, where I do everything to the finish, no matter how long it takes. If it starts with a jab, it ends with some type of finish. So in practice, obviously, when you finish somebody, you start a new position or you start over. So when I got him in a position and he tapped out, in my mind it was like he was going to reset up and we we're going to go again. Then I'm like, I won, fight over with. So, you know, it's a great victory. You know, it's a young kid, as I said before. He's going to have that experience. He's going to get that, you know, that wing underneath him. It's always tough when you're undefeated. You never know what it feels like to take a loss. I've been in that position. My first loss was for a world title as well. So I kind of empathize for him for that, but he's a tough kid. He'll be back.
Oh, that's really sweet of you, Tyron, to talk about that. You know, this week you were saying, I have more tools than my right hand. I've been working on so many different things, but your right hand is what led to all of this. When you were in there, did you see him being tentative towards that right hand?
You know, one thing that I always notice is the more and more I drill, the more and more techniques come in slow motion. So I knew he was going to use the left hand, and when his body language showed the left hand, I was ready to throw my right hand before he was. So he's smart enough not to throw it. A couple times he threw it and missed, but he knew that I was going to try to counter him. So he showed some knowledge in the octagon, but it was just me using high-level attacks, low-level attacks, body clenching, punching to the body, coming back up to the head, blitzing, head kick, which probably threw him off. And then, you know, before he knew it, the right hand that he was looking for was disguised and hidden behind all the new techniques.
You know, you actually came out to this fight a lot more aggressive than we traditionally see you at the beginning of the fight. Was that something where you've been out for a while and you just wanted to get the fight started, or was that intentional?
You know, I'm always a fast starter. It's just in guys like Wonderboy Thompson and Damian Maia, those guys fight a way different fight. But if you look at any other fights, you know, my UFC debut was 36-second knockout. Robbie Lawler was a 47-second knockout. So I've been a fast starter. Dong Young Kim was 60 seconds. So I've gotten guys out there real fast. He took a couple punches, so I just knew I needed to take my time. I'm more proud of myself that when I had him hurt and I was on top and I was dropping hard elbows, able to finish many people, I found a way to game myself, not get overzealous, not go buck wild, find clear shots, and just not give up on the thought of the finish.
You found a way to slip in that submission and do so beautifully, ending up with Darren Till tapping, and you earning your black belt. This has to be a really special moment for you. I can see how much it means.
This is more important than the UFC belt. I apologize. So some of you fans don't want to hear that, but I've been doing jiu-jitsu since 2005. Dean's been my coach since 2006. We've been around for a long time. And when I didn't even think that it would even happen, you know what I mean? So when I get the victory and you see my demeanor change, he wrapped this around me. You know, this is a lifelong goal, so I'm just excited, and everything's up here from now.
You should be excited and proud, Tyron. That's a huge accomplishment, both to be the world champion and a black belt. I know Joe Rogan asked you this in the octagon. I know it's hard to answer, but an opponent might not be, you know, at the tip of your tongue, but do you have a card you'd like to fight on? It's been a long layoff for you. Would you like to get right back in there?
I'd love to say active, you know. Obviously, you know, they got October sealed up. I didn't get hit, so hopefully, you know, if I get everything clear, I can be ready to fight then. October, November. To be honest, I'm just happy to be back. I'm happy to be back. There's not an opponent because if you really look at the welterweight division, I've beat most of them. So now it's just really up to the fans and the UFC to decide who makes the next opponent for me, because we all know if I start saying who I want to fight, the fans ain't gonna mess with it.
Right, but I do want to give you the opportunity to quickly tell fans about this new single you've got.
Yeah, I got a single coming out, guys. It's called "I Beat Your Ass." And what better song to come out than after that victory? So make sure you guys check it out. It's going to be hitting all platforms, featuring T-Double and also Wiz Khalifa. So don't miss it. It's something I've been keeping in the tuck. I was going to walk out tonight. Today's Wiz Khalifa's birthday. He couldn't make it out. I thought it was important to be humble, stay under the radar, beat some ass first, because you don't want to come out with a single that said, "I beat your ass" if you got your ass beat. So make sure you guys check it out. All platforms next week.
Tyron, you've got so much going on. Congratulations on all these beautiful accomplishments in your life. Well deserved.
Thank you.
Tyron Woodley, the world welterweight champion of the UFC, no doubt about it, the pound-for-pound best 170-pounder on the planet. Can he step up to 185 pounds? Because if all the challenges are done at 170, what does he have left to prove? I mean, he'll still be the welterweight champion. Hey, guess what? I'll take a shot at the middleweight title if you let me keep my other title. Something like, negotiate something. Anyway, but the guy that he really wants to fight, the guy that he didn't want to say it, but the guy that he really wants to fight, man, has to be Georges St. Pierre. 37 years old now, born in 1981, of course, Quebec, Canada, man. GSP, Rush, call him what you want, but he's an amazing athlete, and he's the guy that I dogged some more until he beat Michael Bisping the way he did. I thought Michael Bisping was going to ragdoll him and, commit. In other words, if they were in a relationship, they would have arrested Michael Bisping afterwards for domestic violence. That's what I thought, how one-sided it would have went. But it didn't go that way. It went the flip side. GSP just controlled him. I mean, he did. And it blew me away because he had been off for years. I mean, let's be honest. When he left the welterweight division in 2013, he had a couple close fights, but he was on top of his game or close to it. But injuries and financial issues, he said, with the UFC, as well as drug enhancement issues or performance-enhancing drugs. In other words, he thought the other guys were coming in juiced up, and he didn't think that was cool, and he wanted more stricter testing. He screamed about that long along. Of course, he goes back in 2017 and beats Michael Bisping. Now, the problem with Dana White and GSP is that GSP is in control, and Dana White doesn't like that. I mean, Dana White's the promoter. He never wants to be out of control. He always wants to have a fighter under his thumb. He really does. And most of the guys that he has in that position. You have them under your thumb, you can control them. But when the fighter's calling the shots, Dana White doesn't like that. And GSP is going to call the shot on any fight that he gets into. He called the shots on Bisping. He beat Bisping, okay? If he comes back again, of course, has some stomach issues. I think he even had some surgery. But the bottom line is he was sidelined with some gastritis or something like that in his stomach, and he has some medical issues, and people thought, well, maybe he won't come back ever again. Well, I tell you what, I think he's got one more comeback on the line. I think it would be a great fight if he can make 170 again. Well, he was bragging about 6 months ago. We're talking about his GSP Rush, Georges St. Pierre. Of course, he former world welterweight UFC champion, former UFC middleweight champion for the blink of an eye in 2017. He delivers. I mean, as I said earlier, I dogged him. I thought he was boring. But when he tore Bisping apart, when you beat a bigger guy, an accomplished guy like that, I know what it is to fight bigger guys, okay? It's just not, it's more, I know a lot of it's mental, but a lot of it's physical. I mean, because for the most part, when you fight a bigger guy, you've got to wear him down. You have to let him wear himself down, not by pounding on you, okay, by him missing. That's what you got to do, is make him miss. And GSP makes a lot of guys miss, and then he takes you down, and he does this thing on the ground. At the end of the day, I'm not a big GSP fan, except for that one fight. Why am I saying that? Because I'm honest. At the end of the day, GSP and Woodley will be the fight at welterweight. Outside of that, Woodley, I think, is done as far as 170 pounds is concerned. He's just, in a world, I like Roberto Duran at 135, and back in the day, like 1978, 79, when he was a lightweight champion, he beat all the guys. There was nobody left to beat. You couldn't dig anybody else up. In fact, one time, this guy fought Roberto Duran, and Duran knocked him out in the first round, and the guy's wife came running at Duran, like running across the ring. He knocked her out, too. I kid you not. That's an honest-to-God truth. We're talking MMA. This is the MMA Hour live, of course, on Sports Byline each and every Sunday. I'm celebrating GSP, and why am I saying that? Because I think he's the real deal, and he and Woodley would be a mega event. But as I said before, Dana White doesn't want the fight to happen because he doesn't want a one fight, and that's what GSP wants. One fight and I'm out. One fight and I'm out. He wants to call one fight. He doesn't want to sit around and defend titles. He's 37 years old, and I can't blame him. And I think he's the one fighter in position to call his own shots, man. And if he can't, screw Dana. That's just the way it is. Speaking of Dana White, of course, he's got that, he used to have that ownership share, but God, if you think about this, the company sold for $4.2 billion or $4,200 million, and Dana White had 10% of that. Yikes. That's a lot of money, isn't it? So you can see Dana having a little bit of a different attitude right now. But, yeah, him playing hard guy with GSP, not a smart move, I think, for the business because the business needs GSP to come back. He commands what he can do on pay-per-view, his numbers, just being GSP. I'm against just about anybody, although, as I said, I wasn't a big fan before the Bisping fight, but I am now, would make record numbers. There's no doubt about it. Khabib and Conor, that's going to be the biggest show of all time, without question. I mean, people say it isn't, but Conor, of course, the crossover, he did the boxing thing, and that didn't work out too well for him. And, of course, he's going to come back to the world of the UFC after 2 years off. Said he had a baby, fought Floyd Mayweather, broke some windows on a bus, got arrested, had a cop to a misdemeanor. Khabib is going to destroy him. I don't think Conor's got a shot. Unless Conor would have like a pair of brass knuckles or Khabib's got no chin and he falls down as soon as Conor throws a lucky punch or something like that. Unless McGregor lands a lucky punch, he's going to lose this fight. And why am I saying that? Because for the first time in a long time, I'm thinking about dropping money on Khabib. Hey, listen, if I do, I will announce it, and then therefore I will have if the fight goes to a decision afterwards, I can have no opinion on the fight. Because the bottom line is, when you bet money on a fight, it changes your entire perspective. It just does. Jack Fisk, the late Hall of Fame boxing writer from the SF Chronicle, he told me that one day after I bet some money on Marlon Starling against Mark Louie in a fight. Why did you do that? You can't do that and remain objective. So I can't remain objective here, but I can make a few bucks betting on Khabib. That's just what I think. Anyway, we're going to switch gears, talk boxing, of course. There was a Superfly tripleheader last night on HBO, but nobody knew. Probably not even Larry Merchant. And, of course, next week, Triple G, Canelo Alvarez, the big fights. We're talking mega fights in boxing live on the MMA Hour right here on Sports Byline.
If you or a loved one is suffering from a physical or emotional condition that has left you unable to work, then listen carefully. Take this number down. 800-593-7491. That's 800-593-7491. When you call, you'll speak with a Social Security disability expert and get a free evaluation to see if you may qualify for disability insurance benefits from the U.S. government. That's right, a monthly cash payment paid directly to you from the Social Security Administration. Whether you're applying for the first time or you've already been denied disability benefits, call now. The disability attorneys at Pinnacle Disability can help you build your case, file an appeal, and represent you at no upfront cost to you. Don't wait another minute to see if you may qualify for your Social Security disability benefits. Call Pinnacle Disability Group at 800-593-7491 for your free case evaluation. That's 800-593-7491. 800-593-7491. Call now.
Being a new parent means every high and low you can imagine. But Evos can make it all easier with a baby monitor you can trust. Go to myevos.com, that's MYEVOZ.com, to see how Evos can be the eyes and ears of your nursery. Evos works with your smartphone to provide a live audio and HD video connection to your baby anytime and anywhere. On a date, at work, away on business, even serving your country overseas, Evos helps you never miss a moment. Whether your baby is with a sitter, your partner, a grandparent, or a friend, you'll be right there too. And with unique features like smart alerts that know the difference between a barking dog and your baby crying, extensive sleep tracking data, and state-of-the-art security features for your peace of mind, Evos is the smart baby monitor for connected parents. and enter the code SPORTS at checkout for $20 off. That's myevos.com. MYEVOZ.com.
Attention business owners. Are you struggling while waiting for your customers to pay on their net 30, 60, or 90-day invoices? Can't get a business loan? Have no equity? Bad credit? Or maybe no credit at all? Then you need to call AmeriFactors right now. AmeriFactors will give you cash for your invoices and there's nothing to pay back. We simply buy your account receivables, and if those clients don't pay on the invoices, we take the loss. We give you funds based on your account receivables, not your credit. And 98% of all applicants are approved. It's that simple. With AmeriFactors, there's no more waiting for your customers to pay. We give you the funds up front, then we wait for your customers to pay us. Fund your business today. Call AmeriFactors right now.
800-847-1183. 800-847-1183. 800-847-1183. That's 800-847-1183.
Now, back to Pedro Fernandez with the MMA Hour.
Let's get out of this hot sun into a nice, cool bar.
In a few minutes, honey.
You're tuned in the Mighty Sports Byline Broadcast Network. Time to talk a little boxing. Of course, HBO had a triple header last night, or 3 fights. Of course, it was like super flyweight. The bottom line is, not too many people seem to care. Am I wrong, John Signorella? Was this sort of like the HBO card that sort of got away from as far as attention and scrutiny?
Do we really have to talk about this card, Pete?
Because if you don't, the Godfather's listening. He's probably going to say, you didn't cover the HBO card. So we need to cover the HBO card.
All right, Superfly, super boring, commenced last night from Los Angeles. Estrada beats Orchuta by unanimous decision on a wide scorecard in the main event. And Pedro, man, this thing was boring, dude.
Okay, all right.
It was
you're going, but. So here's what's up. So are they going to try to match themselves with the monster from Thailand?
Yeah, Estrada could definitely go and face Sarung Vasai. That should have been a fight that happened last night. Sarung Vasai should have been on that card, and it would have, I think, added a lot more intrigue to the show overall.
They don't want. Listen, he's an embarrassment to them. He ruined. He just embarrassed him. He made Max Kellerman look like a buffoon. Oh, Max Kellerman, a buffoon, all in the same sentence? Yeah. Because they bet on Chocolito, and they bet a lot of money on a guy that maybe was a 112-pounder, and when you move from 112 to 115 to 118, it's like moving up like light years, okay, as far as size, actual body mass is concerned, and Chocolito came up short against the Thailander not once but twice. So, and the second time he got drilled. So he's out at 115. That's why I think that they had signed all these 115-pound fighters, HBO, because they anticipated them fighting Chocolito for a long time.
Absolutely. And listen, Superfly 1 and 2 was really good. I think they're doing a little too much now. It's a little bit of oversaturation with HBO, promoting this card. And at the end of the day, Chocolatito, at least we get him on the undercard, a very solid undercard, Pedro, for Triple G versus Canelo, too.
Well, let's talk about it. Let's talk about the undercard. Go through it.
We got Lemieux versus Sullivan, David Lemieux versus Spike O'Sullivan at 160. A great fight. I think it's going to be a good action fight to see who maybe the winner of Triple G versus Canelo 2 fights next. We got Jamie Munguia versus Cook at 154, and Chocolatito, who I just mentioned, at 115 versus Fuentes. Should be a good night of boxing.
Speaking of the main event, the Bad Blood main event, of course, going down for the middleweight championship. I'm trying to draw up some lines right now. Somehow my my website's not coming up here as far as the odds are concerned. Golovkin a slight favorite in Las Vegas?
Yes, Triple G. I believe it's going to be about a 2-1 at this point, but it's going to be even money the night of the fight, and maybe even Canelo comes ahead. You know how people get closer to fight time, the money comes in for the dog.
Well, no, money comes in from Mexicans, and we're not calling Mexicans. We're not calling Mexicans dogs here, folks. So let's get that straight. But he meant the underdog. And the reason why I brought in Mexicans is remember when I told you Bernard Hopkins fought Oscar De La Hoya. There was a big long line for me to bet, and I bet like $1,000 on Hopkins, and I think Hopkins was like an underdog or was real close. It's so crazy. It was like stealing money. Okay. So when we went to turn in the ticket, because they had to wait like 45 minutes after the fight to turn in the ticket. So you're waiting in line to turn in the ticket. I was the only guy in line.
I can't believe, you know what? It's funny that you mention it. Hopkins was an underdog in that fight, wasn't he? What were they thinking?
No, they made money. What were they thinking? Those guys in Vegas make money like that because all these chumps, I hate to say it like that, or suckers, or call them what you want. These last-minute guys that go with the underdog or go with their guy because, he's going to win, man. He's my people, that kind of good stuff. That's what makes Las Vegas, and that's what makes the bookmakers money.
That's what's up, man. And for me, De La Hoya moving up from, originally 135, he fought all the way down there, all the way up to 160. That was crazy for him, especially against Hopkins at that time, who was still very relevant and still a great fighter.
Well, I don't know how relevant he was at that point in time because I think he had beaten Tito Trinidad. And if you really want to look at Hopkins' accomplishments, most of them were done against lighter weight fighters, much like Marvin Hagler. I hate to put it to you like that, but Hagler's claim to fame was beating Roberto Duran and Tommy Hearns. Okay, and Roberto may have been beating him after 12 rounds. So here's a lightweight, a guy moving up 25 pounds to fight supposedly the best middleweight of all time and holding him in check for 12 rounds. And, after 12 rounds, you got to give Duran a whole lot of credit. That's the one you got to give him the most credit for because at the end of 15 rounds, he's telling him, kiss my what. Hit me on the chin, chump. I mean, he punked Marvin Hagler out to an extent.
Yeah, man. It takes a lot of grit to be in there to do that with that type of guy, man. I'll tell you what.
He is scary. That's just it. And here's what's up. We're all ringside, okay? We're all ringside for this fight. My Hector Martinez, Freddie Martinez is co-managers, Mike A, careers promoter. Well, I mean, we're all ringside, and we're freaking out. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the fight's about to happen, and we're thinking, man, this is going to be like a funeral. This is like Ali's team when they were leading him to the ring against Foreman in Zaire, Africa. It was like we were not thinking. We were trying to be positive, but we thought that he was going to get destroyed. And then here he is, pot shot Marvin Hagler with right hand leads, man. Close up Marvin's eye.
Yeah, man. That's why he's one of the best to ever do it, Pete.
Okay, so if you wanted to lay down a prop bets as far as the Gennady Golovkin and Canelo Alvarez fight, would it be a prop bet or would it be a straight bet? You're the guy from Vegas. How would you lay down this? And of course, if you do bet on it, you can't straighten an opinion. You can set the who, what, where, when, and why, but the opinion stuff you got to sort of lay back on if you lay a bet on. That's what I sort of. Do you see where I'm coming from on that one? If you bet on something, how you can't be sort of objective.
I could not agree more. 100%. Once there's money involvement in anything in life, that changes everything.
Once there's money involved. Okay, so what do you think? Triple G or Canelo? If you had to bet a straight bet, what would it be?
Looking at the bet sheet, Pete, I like the under, and it's funny because that gets you plus money. So they think this fight, Vegas right now thinks this fight is going to the scorecards. I don't. We spoke about this yesterday. There's a lot of bad blood here, man. A lot of animosity. And I think both guys know what they needed to correct from the first fight. Real quick, Canelo had stamina issues. Halfway through every round, he burned out. Triple G didn't go to the body enough. I tell you what, if Triple G goes to the body and closes that distance, and if Canelo still shows stamina issues, I like Canelo to get stopped by Triple G under 11 rounds. So I'm going with the under.
So, all right, so what is the under over? What round is it? Is it? I mean, here's what they used to have. It used to be under like 7.5 or over 7.5.
Yeah, 100%. You could pick exact rounds. Now the odds increase in your favor. For example, if you pick like say Triple G to knock out Canelo, your plus money is going to be pretty heavy there. Now, if you go the over under, saying it doesn't go 12 rounds, the money's still pretty good. I think right now it's a plus 250 for that, so that's not too bad. And that's the one thing that stands out to the most because if you look at the odds for Triple G Canelo, it's getting very close right now.
Well, the reason why it's getting close is because, the Mexicans are coming to town and they're going to bet, just like the Irish come to town. I think the Irish are going to push the line down on Khabib. And I think eventually he might end up being able to steal money on Khabib. I'm sorry, I hate to put it to you like that, but I think that's what it more boils down to, stealing money on this guy because the Irish will bet the line down so much that you may be able to get some money going the other way. In other words, Conor might end up being the favorite here. Who knows?
Well, I agree with that. And I think another thing going back to G and Canelo real quick, is the buyer confidence for a bet, because the first fight got canceled. And a lot of people, I think even with hotels and even ticket sales, they're apprehensive to put the money out until the drug tests are passed, until we get closer to the event, and that's where you're going to start seeing some more money coming for Canelo and be like, all right, the fight is going to happen. And I think even with Khabib and Conor, I think there's questions with Conor's, just outside of the ring behavior. Like, can he keep it together? Which is an intrigue, because that's what's selling the fight right now. Dana White was saying, like, oh, this thing with the bus was the worst thing that could ever happen. It's despicable. Meanwhile, he's sharing it on Twitter. He's sharing it on Facebook. He's sharing it on social media everywhere he can. Why? Because it's going to promote the fight.
Johnny, you don't get it. Dana White said went to Conor McGregor and said, listen, I'll get you out of this, but I own you. In other words, you have to come back to the UFC and you have to fight. You have to do it under my way. You can't be talking any smack. You do it my way. Because Conor seems to be following the script as a quiet little guy this time, isn't he?
Yeah, man. What did we talk about yesterday? Like, why did Dana White even make money off Conor when he fought Floyd Mayweather? Because he allowed him to go and do that boxing match while being under contract with the UFC. That's why. That's ridiculous.
Okay.
At the end of the day, everyone should be able to do what they want. I mean, he wasn't getting out of his contract.
But here's what's up. You've got a boxer. You invested all this, or you've got a fighter. You invested all this money in this and that, and he wants to go off and do something else, like race motorcycles. You know what I'm saying? That's almost the same thing as racing motorcycles. I don't know if I want my $1 million investment racing motorcycles. You feel me on that?
That's a great point, Pete.
Okay.
Good way to look at that right there.
All right, Saul Alvarez, plus 135. Gennady Golovkin, minus 155. That's my betonline.ag, that website, of course, that steals money from me. I'm just kidding, but I don't bet money. Anyway, Anthony Joshua, minus 1,400. And Alexander Povetkin, plus 850. But back to Alvarez in the over-under here is 11.5 rounds. Minus 240, 11.5. Under 240, plus 190. Does it sound about right?
Yeah, it sounds about right, and the thing is, looking at this fight real quick, Pete, with Joshua and Povetkin, I wanted the Wilder fight. I think a lot of people did. But now looking at this one and understanding that this fight is going to happen, we got Povetkin, who's a shorter fighter, and Joshua has a hard time with shorter guys. And in the past two fights since the Klitschko fight, removed from it, Joshua looks a little different. So, I mean, I'm not saying he's going to lose this fight, but if you're going to bet against him, I mean, I think he's got a good shot at it. Maybe
Johnny, you're dreaming. Let me tell you what this kid's doing. He's learning on the job. Don't you understand? He's learning on the job. He wasn't, although he captured Olympic gold, there are guys that capture Olympic gold and things like that don't have 300 or 400 amateur fights and things like that. They don't have a deep reservoir of an amateur background. And let's be honest, the guy's been learning on the job. He was anointed early as the next great heavyweight by yours truly. Of course, after, I think, who was the guy that I was pushing for that time? What was his name? David Price? Remember that big 6'7" lummox? I thought he was going to be the real. I saw him working out on the pads. I said to myself, here's a heavyweight that's got some, he's going to be okay. And man, once they hit him, he flopped. Anyway, Alvarez and Golovkin. It's going to go 12 rounds? No, not in your mind.
No. Like I said, as long as they work on the adjustments, which I believe they did, I'm sure they reviewed the tape. I mean, again, if Canelo has to work on his stamina, and Triple G's got to work on being a little bit more aggressive and go to that body a little bit more. But I think we get a knockout this time. And I'm in favor of Triple G taking out Canelo this time around.
Well, I'm going to bet the under at 11.5 rounds. I'm going to go with the under here. And folks, yes, I'm betting here on the air. And I know we're in the United States. You can't bet on the internet or anything like that. Yeah, right. What's funny is that the United States. Some of these states are now coming into play. Like Nevada is now starting to allow different aspects of gaming. And, of course, New Jersey, all those years they had the casinos in Atlantic City. They didn't have sports books. They just sort of missed the boat on that one.
100%. And they're definitely trying to reform what they have going on over there. And being originally from New Jersey, I'm glad to see it, man, because I tell you what, at one point in time, when I lived in Jersey and I'd come to visit Vegas before moving out here, it was cheaper for me, Pedro, to come to Vegas for 3 days, airfare and hotel accommodations included, coming out here for 3 days than it was to go to Atlantic City and stay in a room for one night. And that was only 3 hours away.
I know, but Atlantic City had so much intrigue. The boardwalk, it was so cool, man. When the fights were happening
That's
there,
what I'm saying.
I mean, it just was cool back then. I don't know if you know what the Irish pub was. That was my home. It was a home of the media. I mean, it was just so cool. And of course, Mike Tyson sort of burned out Atlantic City after Tyson left. It really wasn't all that much. But Donald Trump, can I say, he promoted some pretty good fights with Don King in Atlantic City, so you have to give him some props there. Now, I'm going to bet on the under. I'm going to tell you like this. I'm probably going to bet a little small amount, but I'm going to get plus 190. That's good money, I think.
Absolutely. I mean, that's the thing that stands out the most, unless you want to go for an exact bet and try to pick the round, which is something I really don't like to mess with too much because, I mean, it's really hard to do that.
That's a sucker's bet.
I'm sorry, brother?
That's a sucker's bet.
Yeah, exactly, 100%.
I mean, that's a sucker's bet. I mean, come on, it's just it's like winning a lottery. Anyway, speaking of winning a lottery, each and every week with you is like winning a lottery. We'll talk real soon, Johnny Sig.
Pedro, that means a lot to me. Thank you so much, everyone. Enjoy your Sunday.
Ring Talk. Don't forget, you can go to youtube.com and look at the new Ring Talk channel. Scott Cuddy is going to send up this show in a little bit. Straight up, you are tuned to the mighty Sports Byline Broadcast Network. I am Pedro Fernandez. This is the MMA Hour.
You wouldn't believe it if I told you this was the biggest loss of my whole career. Really? Great for you guys. So what if a bookie gets hit hard? Big joke. Big joke. Never occurs to you that I got a wife and kids like other people. Well, there goes the 2 weeks at camp I promised the kids this summer. What are you going to do with all that loot? Get an operation so I can play my violin again.
You're listening to the MMA Hour.
It has been said that everyone has a book in them. But do you have the time or the ability to write your book? Maybe you picked up some skills or had a life experience that you want to pass on in the form of a book to help others. Maybe you want to leave an autobiography for your family. Or maybe you've built a successful business and you want to share your story. At Dorrance Publishing Company, we have professional writers who can help turn your book idea into a finished manuscript quickly and affordably. A Dorrance ghostwriter can provide as much or as little help as you need to complete your book. You'll work directly with your ghostwriter to finish your book faster than you ever could on your own. It's easy to become a published author. Call Dorrance now to learn more. 800-485-6003. 800-485-6003. 800-485-6003. Call right now. That number is 800-485-6003.
If you are age 85 or younger, call to learn more about final expense plans from a licensed agent in the Angel Care Network. The average funeral now costs over $10,000. Are you at risk of leaving loved ones to help pay your debts? A final expense policy for seniors can pay up to $30,000 for funeral and other final expenses. You don't need a medical exam, and you can have lifetime coverage, and the policy cannot be canceled. To receive free information about final expense plans from a licensed agent in the Angel Care Network, call now. You'll also receive information about a free prescription discount card just for calling in. Agents are standing by.
Call 800-508-5774. 800-508-5774. 800-508-5774. Call now. That's 800-508-5774.
When you struggle with credit card bills every month, you're not just in debt. Debt is all around you.
I see people every day that are on the brink. They're going to go over the edge, and at the bottom is bankruptcy, and we pull them back.
At the Debt Helpline, we're experts at helping you resolve your debt problems and become free of debt. We can help you pay off your debt and give you one lower monthly payment that you can afford.
You do get to consolidate your payments. You only have to worry about making one payment a month instead of making 3 or 4 or 5.
If you have $5,000, $10,000 or more in credit card bills, call the Debt Helpline now for a free confidential debt analysis.
800-957-6063. 800-957-6063. Call the CESI Debt Helpline right now for a free confidential debt review. 800-957-6063. 800-957-6063.
Now, more of the MMA Hour with Pedro Fernandez.
September 15th is going to rock and roll, no doubt about that. Saturday, and of course, the big fight, Gennady Golovkin, Triple G, still undefeated in Canelo Alvarez. The one loss and the draw, of course, to Gennady Golovkin last year. Of course, the bad blood is obvious. They were supposed to hook it up in the May rematch, but a bad drug test, meaning steroids, disqualified Canelo Alvarez. So September 15th, that's on the line. I like the under, and I like Gennady Golovkin. Also going on the 15th, the UFC of Moscow. Mark Hunt, the slow-in Samoan, the throw-in Samoan. Call him what you want, but the bottom line, he's taking on Oleg Olenek, and that's in a heavyweight throwdown. It'll be on UFC. It'll be on UFC on Fox. So straight up Fox on Fox Sports 1. I take that back. Only on Fight Pass. You got to be UFC freak to see this, or go to one of those websites like FirstRowSports.eu or VIPBox.eu, and you could probably pick up the fight in Russian. Hey, who cares? You're watching the fight, right? Anyway, bottom line is you're tuned to the Bonnie Ring Talk Live Worldwide show. Of course, 35 years now. We're celebrating 35 years in a week. Tune in. The anniversary show right here on Sports Byline. Until next time, peace, love, and lots of respect. The executive producer, the always capable Scott Cuddy.